So yesterday, Night Dive Studios shadow dropped an announcement about Blood, specifically a new upcoming retail release that will see Blood arrive on modern consoles, including Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch. This is all going to be delivered in a shiny new package called Blood Refreshed Supply and brings some new episodes, community mods and all the spit and polish that recent Night Dive games have been receiving. So far so good, but didn't we do this not that long ago? Blood got a remaster back in 2019 on PC and that was called Blood Fresh Supply, and for all intents and purposes, Refresh Supply is going to be that same Kex powered Blood with just a few bells and whistles added here and there. Then you kind of glance at the price of this thing, and it's currently £25 here in the UK on Steam. They have revealed that if you own Blood Fresh Supply already, then you get 66% off it if you buy it before the game releases. But then I go and look at the Blood Fresh Supply page, and it's just a hair over £7 there. So between these two Kex powered games, which are basically for all intents and purposes the same outing, the price has jumped threefold. And I say they're very much the same experience because if you look at the Steam page for the new Blood Remastered, you can see that this list of features has been put down by the studio, but then if you go and look at the original Blood Fresh Supply, you'll see that a lot of these appear there also. So I'm kind of left scratching my head and wondering what exactly outside of mod support and those new episodes are we paying that huge increase in price for? Don't get me wrong, I'm fine with paying a premium to get an updated version if that version justifies the cost, but all of this just feels a bit weak that the remastered Blood game PC gamers shelled out for only a handful of years ago is basically being rendered obsolete by a second version that doesn't feel or seem all that different outside of a few new level sets. And I also need to restate that the offer to buy Blood Remastered for 66% off is limited until the game touches down. Then I assume that if you don't buy it before then, you'll be paying that full £25 price. And I have to say the logistics of all this has really put a big dampener on the initial excitement that I genuinely felt for this announcement. I love Blood. I've played it since the Shareware episode dropped, and I've always had a huge soft spot for it. When the series was originally put on Steam in its original form, I raced to buy it because I wanted to support the franchise. When Fresh Supply dropped, I was super excited because it finally felt like Blood was getting the care and attention that it deserved. And I'm also going to explain to you that when I saw this on my Blue Sky, the announcement trailer, I was really excited for it because I thought that Blood was once again getting a good deal. But I have to say that it doesn't really feel like that great of a deal right now. The trailer is very vague about specific upgrades on the gameplay side, focusing on the new game content and community support, and I suspect that that's no accident. It genuinely raises the question of this is actually worth it for PC gamers. Remasters of remasters is part and parcel of modern gaming. Games get touched up and re-released on new platforms all the time, and the fact that Blood will be coming to consoles for the first time is truly amazing. Much like with Heretic and Hexen, these remasters serve not just as a touch-up to the classic game, but also a chance to bring those classic franchises into the modern day and show them to new audiences. But maybe we've been spoiled by Microsoft's generosity in that sense. Classic Doom arrived with the Unity port in 2019, and that port was entirely rendered obsolete when Microsoft partnered up with Night Dive to release the Doom 1 plus Doom 2 bundle in 2024. But here's the thing, they didn't charge £25 for that upgrade. If you already owned the Unity version, you were given a free upgrade to the new version, and it meant that nobody felt out of pocket. Likewise with Heretic plus Hexen, if you own the games on Steam or GOG, then you got that entire package for free, no strings attached. Obviously that's not how it's always going to be, but when you're remastering a remaster and you're tripling the price, you have to justify that. When the Tomb Raider 1 to 3 Remastered collection was revealed, they showed right up front what your £25 would get you, and not only was it 6 level sets set across the 3 games, the graphical updates and technical changes were made abundantly clear from the word go. It also needs to be said that the only previous versions you could buy on PC were not remasters, they were the original games tweaked to run on modern Windows. Gamers have been waiting so long to get their hands on these games, and it was the same back in 2019 with Blood. Gamers have been waiting so long to see Blood get the remastered treatment, and that's why there was huge celebration when that version of the game landed. And I have to say, in this situation, it's a great deal for console gamers because there was no previous version of Blood on consoles. But for PC gamers, they've already had a Kex powered flavour of the game, and that version arrived very rough but was fixed up well enough that most people think it's a great experience in the modern day. Hopefully in the coming weeks, Warner Bros. And Night Dive will start spilling the details of this one and give us a reason to get super excited, but at this exact second it's hard to get that excited because it just feels like, in particular for PC gamers, we're just getting an expensive but reheated game. It also raises the question of why they're re-releasing the game at all, when I'm sure most people would love a completely new experience with the Blood franchise. Blood 2 is very controversial and most people are very hit and miss on whether that should ever get a remaster at all. That's fine, let's get a modern Blood game out, or a continuation of the first game in that style with new levels and outings. Re-releasing the same thing over and over only creates the sentiment that Warner Bros is milking this beloved game for all it's worth, that they don't see any creative value in the title and that it's just a source of potential revenue for them. Yes, we are getting new levels through these remasters, but Blood is actually so overstuffed with episodes at this point that it's hard to comprehend why they don't just make a new outing and continue the story that way. I hate to use the phrase cash grab, but it's really hard to feel that this version of Blood is anything but that, an attempt to make a bit more money off a game franchise that hasn't really seen much action in the last 3 decades. If it sells well, maybe we'll get that, but in honesty this whole thing just seems to hurt the most dedicated fans the hardest when they're the ones who have to keep paying out for the same experience with slightly longer names on the title. For me personally, I'll be watching the updates and seeing exactly what this package offers before giving my money over to Warner Bros. At the end of the day, fans of Blood on PC already have an excellent package and community options that allow for greater experiences. This new collection serves more as a console release than something the die-hard PC fans really need to get excited about. Right now, the ball is very much in the court of Night Dive and Warner Bros. I will support any Blood release that is worth the time of fans, but unless they make the case for me to do that, I'm quite content to sit this one out. I don't like saying that about Night Dive releases, usually they justify themselves. But the initial excitement and joy that this trailer brought quickly gave way to a sense that we've been here, done that, and this package is very overpriced for what it is. I hope to be proven wrong on this. I'm making this video because I want to be excited for this package, and the chance to dive back into Blood is one that I will always take. But right this second, it just doesn't feel like a good deal to me. I also should point out to end the video that if you buy Blood Refresdhed Supply on Steam or GOG right this second, you can get that version and the new one cheaper than if you buy it outright and you don't own Blood already. It's kinda silly how that works out.